We're just incompatible. One of the most painful things to hear from your avoidant partner, now your avoidant ex, who may abruptly discard you, blindside you, and pull the rug from under your feet. Or maybe they did a slow fade out. But either way, it really hurts and it doesn't even make any sense. The two of you had a wonderful connection, a wonderful chemistry. It was out of this world. You had so many things in common. So incompatible, and they're pointing at very surface level things. Well, you like Italian food, and I really prefer Middle Eastern and Asian food, and you like to cook, and I'm not really big on cooking, and you like to go to museums, and I really prefer to go to baseball games. Very surface level stuff, and it doesn't make sense because these are things that can easily be worked on, but they're saying you're incompatible. Incompatibility is one of the avoidant's favorite coping mechanisms in a breakup. Their fears have been triggered. Their fears around intimacy, vulnerability, expectations, conflict, things like that. So they look for a reason to make it not their fault. If you're incompatible, well, it's not their fault. You're just not compatible. So they don't have to look at themselves and they get to avoid facing their wound of shame. It's all about avoiding their inner shame and avoiding their fears that stem from that shame. And that shame is what drives their entire attachment style. When you're dealing with a dismissive avoidant or a fearful avoidant that leans heavily dismissive, you are dealing with a person that was on the receiving end of profound, consistent childhood emotional neglect. And they personalize that neglect growing up to feel defective and unlovable. It's why they put up walls, because their subconscious fear, and some are consciously aware of it, is if I lower my walls and I let my partner in, my partner's going to figure out that I'm defective and I'm not lovable, and they're going to reject me. So emotional closeness feels deeply unsafe to them at a very deep primal level in their nervous system. Emotional distance feels safe. Early on in the relationship, when you had this connection, compatibility, and chemistry, it's because their fears weren't triggered yet. It was the shared fantasy. That's because it's a fantasy world. It's the honeymoon phase. They're riding that dopamine wave. Dopamine is the reward hormone that causes infatuation. So they're infatuated and they're loving the attention you're giving them. But the brain cannot sustain that elevated level of dopamine, and the dopamine levels come down. And when the dopamine levels come down, the avoidance insecurities rise to the surface. Insecurities around intimacy and connection and commitment and conflict. So now, in order to avoid that wound of shame, they have to make it not their fault. And incompatible is the easiest route to make it not their fault, so they don't have to self-reflect and they don't have to face their shame, and they can continue to run from themselves.